Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner and creator of Alive Refurbished. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to create a weather look by staining wood using paint and also applying a dry brush technique. So if you want to learn more about these techniques, stick around. Just a reminder to turn on your notifications and to subscribe so that you can continue learning more techniques with me.
These nightstands are beautiful, but they just need a little bit of updating and brightening. To help me get rid of any grease or grime that has accumulated over the years, I'm using crack powder. You might be asking yourself, why is she cleaning it before sanding it and creating more dust and getting it all dirty? The reason being is if I don't remove this grease and grime now, I could push those contaminants deep into the wood while I'm sanding, and this could eventually ruin my finish. I started sanding everything with 120 grit sanding paper. Since I'm gonna be staining / giving these drawers some texture, I'm gonna be sanding them down to bare wood. So I finished them off with a 220 grit. Since sanding creates dust, this gets the piece ready again. So I need to do a really thorough cleaning, this time with a TSP substitute. It comes in a powder form. You just dissolve it with water, follow the instructions, and then give everything a good cleaning. Cleaning time is the best time to make a full assessment of your piece, meaning checking for any damage like broken or missing drawer slides or missing stops, things like that need to be addressed. These nightstands didn't have any major damage, but there was this gunky stuff that I found on one of the drawers. So then I grabbed my goof off, I sprayed it onto the spot. You wait a couple minutes and then you can start scraping it. Wipe it clean, and it worked like a charm. And now that my piece is all clean, I'm ready to prime it. I'm gonna be using Bean Shellac Base Oil Primer for these nightstands since I noticed that they were made of mahogany wood. In case you don't know, this red wood is known for bleeding, meaning there is a discoloration to the wood grain that filters through your primer, paint, and could potentially ruin your finish and your day. This discoloration shows as pinkish or brownish spots. And as you can imagine, it can be super upsetting. Yes, I have shed tears after I've seen those show up after I apply my top coat. They are like those friends that you did not invite to your painting party, but they still show up. And they're so rude. But I have learned that this stain blocker really prevents those uninvited friends from showing up. And just to be safe, I applied 2 coats of this awesome barrier. Speaking of such an uninvited friends, here they are. You see those pink spots? Before I addressed them, I spotted a couple areas that had some deep scratches. And primer will do that. It will highlight things that you might have missed and they were not obvious to the eye. And all of a sudden they stick like a sore thumb. So this is a good time to address all those imperfections. I used this wood filler and touched up all those spots. Waited a few minutes until they dry and then sand it with a 220 grit. Once all these imperfections are addressed, I can do a 3rd coat of primer, and that will take care of the bleed through and also these little repairs. 45 minutes later, my primer is all dry and I can do a final light scuff sanding. I use an extra fine sanding grit to knock down any texture that my primer might have, or to knock down any fuzzies that might have landed on my primer while it was drying. Basically anything that gets in the way of getting a super sleek and smooth finish. And finally, I get rid of all the dust that I just created while I sanded to have my piece all clean and ready for paint. I'll be using the lamp white color from Fusion Mineral Paint for these nightstands. I'm adding a little bit of water to dilute my paint. I don't have a ratio for you. Every gun is different. Yours might have a viscosity cup that you can use. I just eyeball the consistency until it looks right to me. And by the way, just a reminder to make sure that you read the instructions, how to protect yourself from inhaling any vapors or chemicals from the products. Even though Fusion Mineral Paint is VOC free, I still like to wear a mask just to protect myself from any overspray. I apply a total of 2 coats of lamp white from Fusion Mineral Paint, and I have something really fun saved for you for the drawers, so stay tuned. For the next part, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna be using Tobacco Road Voodoo Gel Stain water base from Dixie Belle, a sponge, 3 different colors from Fusion Mineral Paint with 3 of the most inexpensive brushes that you can find out there that will help give these drawers some texture. A container with some water and a couple of lint-free paper towels or regular rags. Start by squeezing a little bit of gel stain and grab your sponge and use it to push the gel stain into the wood grain. I'm doing this to take some of the redness in the wood grain off. While your stain's still wet, dip the tip of your bristles, grabbing just a little bit of paint, and apply about 3 brush strokes. I am not looking to do a full coverage paint. I'm using a wet rag to distribute the little bit of paint that I apply and push it into the wood grain. I'm using the paint to stain my drawer. While still wet, grab a little bit of that dark gray, and again, it doesn't have to be pretty, you just brush it uneven. And we're gonna be doing the same thing with the same wet rag. As I'm trying to distribute this dark gray, I am noticing that it is not spreading evenly. So I decided to dip my brush into a little bit of water and grab a little bit of more paint and then apply it. And use my wet rag again, and this time it'll look a lot more even. Wait about 30 minutes until this dries before moving to the next step. Once again, dip the tip of your bristles, but this time you're gonna offload as much paint as possible, leaving your brush with almost no paint. But what little bit you have left, you're gonna start feathering over your drawer. You can go as heavy or light as you would like. This is where the creative mind comes to play. I am liking the way it's looking, so I'm stopping about now. For the hardware, I use Rust-Oleum High Performance Enamel 15-minute fast dry. And I did something for the first time ever. After I waited for a full day for everything to dry, I put the hardware back on and decided to top coat the hardware after I put it on. In a minute, I will explain to you why. For now, let's talk about the top coat I'm gonna be using, which is High Performance Flat from General Finishes. Every time you open a can, make sure you stir everything really well. This product does not need to be diluted. It's a water-based top coat, By the way, I have found that using high performance top coat with fusion mineral paint gives me a super sleek finish, which I love. Let me explain to you why I decided to put the hardware first before top coating. If you notice, there is this dangly part to them. When I lay these handles on their backs, that dangly part gets stuck to that bottom part. When you take the dangly part off to unstuck it, paint chips. And it basically ruins your finish and it's super frustrating. So these work like a charm. I will definitely be doing it again. And here's the final look. They have texture, they're brighter, more modern, definitely more my style. In case you were wondering, my neighbor purchased this.
Thank you for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, that you found inspiration to tackle your next furniture project. Don't forget that just like there's hope for these pieces of furniture after they have been all mistreated and beat up, there's also hope for you. So until next time.